Next up on the Cosmic News Network, First Contact with Joshua Pert.
Good morning, Earthlings. Good. How you doing today? Good. How you doing today? Welcome to First Contact Radio. Welcome to First Contact Radio. To talk about all these things I'm talking about is because in life, everything is energy. Every single thing that's out there.
Yo, it's First Contact with Joshua Poet. He's the man on the mic, just in case you didn't know it. Covering news from all around the globe, from the weather and space to UFOs. He'll talk politics and make you open your eyes. Conspiracy theories and government lies. They'll dig it all up and try to find the proof. Cause it's time to demand the truth. It's time.
First Contact Radio. We have
time to demand the truth. It's time.
First Contact Radio. We have arrived.
It's time.
First Contact Radio.
It's time to demand
First
the
Contact
truth.
Radio. We have arrived. First There we go. Good morning, Earthlings. Always helps when I have the microphone on, right, that you can hear what I'm saying. How you doing today? Welcome to First Contact Radio. Let's jump in over here. It's Friday edition. Today is the 25th of October. We are moving right along. This month is almost over. All right, what we have here is a same as yesterday. We have a moon sign that is in Cancer and a sun sign that just moved into, as we can see here, Scorpio. So we've got Scorpio and Cancer, two water signs. Two water signs. Waters are emotions, okay, feelings. Water, think of how water moves in life. Water can be still in a bowl. It can be moving around. Water can get really rough like rain. It can be heavy storms. It can be gentle. All different ways water can go. But if you think of water as something that is like emotions, you can see how the rising and the setting of the water can really affect the way that we behave and what we think and so on. So we want to make sure that we don't get too out of control with all of our emotions, all of our feelings and everything, because that just throws us out of whack. Now, for Cancer, I want to show you here, this is the card that represents Cancer, okay? The Chariot. And the meanings of this card are very simple. You see on here a person in a suit of armor. Well, that suit of armor is protecting the person from all of the emotional blows that life has to offer, okay? So you have a man inside the suit, the man representing the conscious mind. The conscious mind, that man, is the protection, the suit of clothing for spirit, which is housed inside the being. The being is housed inside the armor. The armor is out inside the charioteer. All these forms of protection. And outside the charioteer, you have two sphinxes. One black and one white represent the opposites of life. And sphinxes represent riddles, the riddles of life. So what we have here with this card is the need to understand the riddles of life. And the way we get through it is we allow spirit that is flowing through us to go through and allow us. And if we allow spirit to channel through ourselves, we are able to move through the opposites of life, the riddles of life, because we are allowing the guiding force of the universe to help us to move through that. And what better guide than the guiding force of the universe, right? What better guide than spirit to help you move through problems? So Cancerian energy is all about moving through the emotions, moving through things. As a warrior, as a spiritual warrior, that's one of the things that with the Cancerian, there's that inherent idea, as you see here with the Chariot, of the warrior. That spiritual warrior. We really have to get in and allow ourselves to stand strong in what we believe. Here we have some trines that are going on between our moon sign. We have a trine here. The most one that's going to affect us right now is the one with Mercury. And this is our emotions, feelings are going to be in a good place with our communication. So the way we express ourselves. So that's a good thing. Later on tonight, this afternoon, our sun sign Scorpio is going to be in a trine with Neptune. Neptune is flipping things upside down, looking at things from a new perspective. And so what we have is that Scorpio energy, that dark energy that's way down and buried, that's coming to the surface. Well, it's being brought to light, and we have an opportunity to take a new way in which we perceive or look at these things. Maybe a new way in which some of our emotions are affecting us in the world today. All right? Just some things to consider as you go through the course of today with that. Let's see, over the course of the weekend, We're going to be switching our moon sign into Leo, a fire sign. We'll be there tomorrow. We'll be there Sunday. And then when we get back Monday, we'll be back in that void, of course. So we're going to be going from water, okay, to fire. Fire's ideas and creativity. We're not there yet, but that's something over the course of the weekend that you're going to be, needing to understand. Now, when we go over to our moon phase, we see that we're 63% of the way full. 63% of the way full, making our way down to the new moon. Mayan Oracle. Today is an 8-tone day. 8 tones are called the galactic tones, the galactic tones of integrity. So we are on the place of integrity in the wave spell or the theme of beauty. And our supporting cast members are the guide, which is the storm. Like-minded energy is the seed. Challenge for today is the serpent, and the world bridger is our hidden power. The ability to look past the life and death to see how they really connect and what they're really all about. The storm is a catalyzation of energy that comes together, and then we send that energy out. Imagine storm. Storm is water, right? Has water within it. There's wind and other factors. But you got that water in it in that storm that's going to go out. Okay, just tie that together with our feelings and the emotions that are out in the world with the Cancerian and the Scorpio energy. You can kind of see there's something there that is important on how we're going to gather that energy and the vision, the eagle, the vision of how we're going to send that out into the world. The phrase for today, which is a combination of all of these different symbols here, is I harmonize in order to create modeling mind. I seal the output of vision with the galactic tone of integrity. I am guided by the power of self-generation. Over at spaceweather.com, our solar wind at the moment is 343.7 kilometers per second. Planetary K index, well, we're in the quiet zone, 0 to 1. All quiet on the western front at the moment and on planet Earth, but we shall see what happens. Nothing much in the way of corona holes at all. Geomagnetic storm activity, or actually M-class flare possibility, is up 55%. X-class is up to 10%. And then geomagnetic storm activity is up, not real high, but there is a good possibility, 25% in the high latitudes, 35 in the low, that you're going to have some activity, which means have a camera handy because auroras and things like that occur. Now, we did have a flare yesterday, an X flare. There's like an X17. Solar activity is high on the 24th. Sunspot AR 1877 erupted with a powerful M9 class solar flare. And I believe we also had something go a little bit higher too. I don't see anything here noticing that. Alright, we're going to move on from there, but that's what's going on with the space weather. This is Suspicious Observers Report for today.
Good morning, folks. We begin in the Northwest Pacific, Francisco, at the southern tip of Japan. It's set to skirt the coast, but Lakima is heading in that direction as well. Neither supposed to officially make landfall, but a swell in the Daiichi zone where they meet would be slightly less than optimal. We still have flooding in India where that storm stalled, but Central Africa is taking this as well. South Sudan has been declared a statewide flood emergency, thousands of people already at risk, and the rains keep coming. Kamchatka has been erupting for a while. We're now getting some terrific false color views from Landsat 8, courtesy of NASA's Earth Observatory. I also suggest reading this article. It's about water stress zones now and into the near future. We'll come back to weather further east of Japan to see a mega low driving Pacific moisture along the coastal areas, Alaska and Canada there. Tens of thousands without power in parts of northeast Ohio when too much snow fell on trees that hadn't yet lost their leaves, downing power lines. Today there is a strong high driving clockwise and keeping the rain to the southwest and snow well to the north. In Europe, this latest counterclockwise driving low is bringing heavy rain and storms along the leading convergence. Light rain at the South Island is about the only weather watch here, but of course we still have major bushfires in the area. Burn scars are hundreds of square miles already, and south of that, a boat leaking chemicals as it arrived to port. 2 gamma ray bursts since we last spoke, first from down south in Pabo, followed from the north out of Ursa Major. The interplanetary shocks have begun, but so far they are small and likely don't include the bigger CMEs. Flaring has stepped it up a notch. That's an X flare, folks, first since May. and it came from the new group incoming on the eastern limb. We had major signal degradation during and following the event. Now the Earth-facing sunspots may be on the decline. I'd be shocked not to get anything more from them, but there are only 2 remaining delta spots up north, and down south is Gamma class trying to be delta atop the leading umbra. The big spot coming in that popped the X-flare, quite clearly a delta spot with bipolarity within the penumbral and perhaps even umbral region there. The corona holes are moderately blocked from facing Earth, but they bulged midday yesterday. Right after the news, during that bulge, we gained a lot of orange facing Earth. 6.7 struck the South Sandwich Island. New Zealand and Tonga rumbled as well, and were above average surrounding the Caribbean. That orange and yellow abandoned us into the evening and this morning, but we got interplanetary shocks on the way. Standing wave possibility resultant of the geocentric planetary geometry mentioned yesterday, both of which should complement the dynamic solar magnetics going forward for another global uptick in seismicity soon. Someone get Dr. Simon to give me another call. Filaments erupting, filaments still in Earth-facing positions. Delta spots and an aurora watch to start the weekend upon larger space weather impact. Eyes open. No fear, it's 6:45 a.m. Eastern Time, and that's the news. Be safe, everyone.
Alrighty. Alright, today I'm not going to play a video. Today I'm going to do some reading for you. I'm going to read to you from the Bible, the chapter Mark, Luke 13. The reason being, look, there's some things going on this planet. We can't deny that. We are seeing activity taking place, from comets in the sky to craziness on the earth, of tyrannical governments around the world just going absolutely nuts, to all these wars that are out there, and the violence and the rumors of wars. And in the midst of all of this, as you go through and you search, there's a lot of talk from various groups out there, Christian groups, about rapture, and a lot of them, and very, very strong messages. We heard the message that was done in the House a week ago. It seems as something very significant is happening. And so all I could really say during this period of time, I guess the best thing is, in the words of Jesus, those with ears let them hear, those with eyes let them see. Something is going on in the world far greater than what is being told on any of the mainstream media. It's something that we need to really pay attention to. It seems that we're in some significant times. So let me get to this here. This is Mark chapter 13. This will tie into things we're going to do later. I'm going to talk about later on. So let's get to this now. Says, Mark 13, things to come. As he was going out of the temple, one of his disciples said to him, "Teacher, behold, what wonderful stones and what wonderful buildings." And Jesus said to him, "Do you see these great buildings? Not one stone will be left upon one another which will not be torn down." As he was sitting on the Mount of Olives opposite the temple, Peter and James and John and Andrew were questioning him privately. "Tell us when these things will be, and what will be the sign all these things are going to be fulfilled." And Jesus began to say to them, "See to it that no one misleads you. Many will come in my name, saying, 'I am he,' and will mislead many. And you will hear of wars and rumors of wars. Do not be frightened. Those things must take place, but that is not yet the end. For nation will rise against nation, and kingdom against kingdom. There will be earthquakes in various places. There will also be famines. These things are merely the beginning of birth pangs. But be on guard, for they will deliver you to the courts. You will be flogged in the synagogues, and you will stand before governors and kings for my sake, as a testimony to them. The gospel must first be preached to all the nations. When they arrest you and hand you over, do not worry beforehand about what you are to say, but say whatever is given to you in that hour. For it is not you who speak, but it is the Holy Spirit. Brother will betray brother to death, and a father his child, and a children will rise up against his parents and have them put to death. You will be hated all because of my name, but the one who endures to the end, he will be saved. But when you see the abomination of desolation standing where it should not be, Then those who are in Judea must flee to the mountains. The one who is in the housetop must not go down or go in to get anything out of his house, and the one who is in the field must not turn back to get his coat. But woe to those who are pregnant and those who are nursing babies in those days. But pray that it may not happen in the winter, for those days will be a time of tribulation such as not occurred since the beginning of creation, which God created until now and never will. Unless the Lord has shortened these days, no life would have been saved, but for the sake of the elect, whom he chose, he shortened the days. And then if anyone says to you, Behold, here is Christ, or Behold, here he is there, do not believe him. For false Christs and false prophets will arise and will show signs and wonders in order to lead astray, if possible, the elect. But take heed, behold, I have told you everything in advance. But in those days after the tribulation, the sun will be darkened, the moon will not give its light. The stars will be falling from the heaven, and the powers that are in the heavens will be shaken. Then they will see the Son of Man coming in clouds with great power and glory. And then he will send forth the angels, and will gather together his elect from the four winds, from the farthest end of the earth and the farthest seat of heaven. Now learn the parable of the fig tree. When its branch has already become tender and puts forth its leaves, you know the summer is near. Even so, you too, when you see these things happening, recognize that he is near, right at the door. Truly I say to you, this generation will not pass away until all these things take place. Heaven and earth will pass away, but my words will not pass away. But of that day, of the hour, no one knows, not even the angels in heaven, nor the Son, but the Father alone. Take heed, keep on alert, for you do not know when the appointed time will come. It is like a man away on a journey, who upon leaving his house and putting his slaves in charge, assigning to each one his task, also commanded the doorkeeper to stay on the alert. Therefore be on the alert, for you do not know when the master of the house is coming, whether in the evening, at midnight, or when the rooster crows, or in the morning, in case he should come suddenly and find you asleep. What I say to you, I shall say to all, be on the alert. Be on the alert. That is chapter 13 of Mark. Now this is very significant because there is something definitely going on in the world, okay? Something going on we need to pay attention. It says we're not going to know the time and the place. However, it does say we also need to know how to read the signs. So maybe we may not know the exact time and the hour, but by reading the signs we can tell that we are in that time period when something is going on. And right now, if you look at the signs not only around us in the world, but if you look at the signs in which way people are communicating, you could see that there's a tremendous amount of information out there. People feeling that something significant is about to happen. It's not just me. It's not just a few people I know. It's people around the world. You probably are feeling something too, that we are on the verge of something major happening. We don't quite know what, but there's something out there for us to happen. So be on alert. That's the main thing, okay? That's the most important thing. So this is going to tie in later to some stuff I'm going to do in the end when we get to the last part of the show. So I'll bring this information back up. In the meantime, let's jump over to UFO news.
This is the UFO News with Joshua Poet.
All right, Dirk. Thank you very much. Today's UFO news stories has 5 stories today. The first one is a strange unidentified flying object hovering over Oregon. This was on the 21st. Said the strange object was seen and filmed in the Monday night sky. And this is what was seen there. That's a pretty good looking ship there. Kind of looks like some of the other ones we've seen, right? Recall the one I showed you the other day. Very first one, it sort of had something like this. We're seeing more and more of these big ships. They're making themselves a little bit more seen. And again, no one is attacking. They're just letting themselves be seen so people know that they're out there. Okay, we're going to move from there over to a mom takes a UFO photo waiting for baby formula to cool. A Garston mother was left perplexed after spotting a bright UFO hovering over the town in the early hours of the morning. Claire Norton made the discovery after being woken up by her hungry young baby at around 5:20 a.m. on Wednesday. While waiting for a bottle to cool, she decided to go in the backyard of Boundary Way House to have a cigarette than she spotted the stationary orb in the sky. The mum of three said, I was in the back garden having a quick cigarette, and I looked like it was above Francis Combs School, but further away. I thought it was just a plane at first, but it just stayed and kept glowing for around 10 to 15 minutes. It was right in front of me, and I thought, what the hell is that? It stayed right in front of me. I couldn't believe it. Miss Norton then went on to get her camera to capture the mysterious object, which had bright light in front of it. She added, I was shocked, as I don't believe in these things like that, but I have changed my mind as I have seen them. I don't think I'm crazy. I know what I saw. Afterwards, she tended to her baby and said the light disappeared when she looked again around 20 minutes after first seeing it. I think this is going to be a common phrase for lots of folks. You know, they don't believe in these things, but now that they see it, they believe. Okay, so there you got that one there. Moving on, this next one is a large triangle UFO filmed over the UK. Says huge UFO triangular craft caught coming from Bowsy Rune heading towards the QE Hospital Kings Lynn, UK. Unusual looking light arrangement. Compared to the others I've filmed, you can just get to see the rear tip light giving the full triangular shape. ET or military, you decide. Alright. And again, we're not really sure because we know that our military does have the capability of these kind of crafts. We've seen them. We know they exist. Okay, the video itself's almost 3 minutes in length. But you can see there is something triangular about it. You can just kind of see the shape. Okay. And there we go. We got a little different color going on there. That's quite interesting. There we go. Now you can really see this pretty good, right? Look at that. You can see a bit more of what it is. Okay, next story here. This is Illuminated UFO filmed over Kazakhstan. For those of you who don't know, I didn't. The city of Altamay is the largest city in Kazakhstan. The city is located in the mountainous area of southern Kazakhstan near the border with Kyrgyzstan. Kazakhstan has a long history of great UFO sightings. The best one that I can recollect is when the UFO hovered just near the town center in broad daylight. You can follow the link to check it out. To say the video below is a bit suspicious would be a valid statement. I post it because it's interesting and is going viral. So two young men have managed to make a video of an unidentified flying object. Okay, this is the one from the other day. So now it's getting a little bit more attention, right? And again, the question is this one fake or not? But as you saw and recall, these two gentlemen were very excited about what they saw. And we've seen these type before, so it's not necessary that this is a fake. But because it is going viral, again, there's good reason for you to know what's going on with that. And one last sighting here. This was goes back to the 17th. This was passes in front of the sun. This is a biological UFO. While looking over some Soho sun photos, I noticed this very odd-shaped object near the sun. This looks a lot like a solar explosion. However, its center has a triangle in it, and its web-like round shape makes me wonder if what I am looking at is a massive UFO similar to the 1997 NASA UFO tether incident. It's been in my mind, so I am posting it after looking at it for almost a week, and I will let you guys decide. I will put the tether incident at the bottom of the post for you to compare. Remember, the tether incident was a test to see if a 12-mile-long tether could pull out a $100 million satellite up into orbit. The tether video was made with an infrared camera showing many donut-shaped UFOs curious about the tether and one apparently breaking it. The tether UFOs look like the biological entities, not ships as we know them. And that's Scott C. Warren. This is from his blog spot, UFOsightings.daily.com. Okay, so there's some good shots right there. And I believe this is the video. Yeah, this is the original video of the tether. If you recall this was when they had that long tether that they were pulling. And then as you recall, let's see here. There were all these different little orbs and things flying around it. Let's see here. And then the thing breaks away. Okay, and as it goes, there's a bunch of these things right here. Okay, so you've seen these before, definitely have. You've seen NASA photographs with them. This is certainly a NASA video. So something's up there. All right. So you have that. One other thing, I haven't heard anything about Cleveland, Ohio, but if you recall the story, Dr. Richard Boylan said there was going to be a UFO craft that was going to be up over Cleveland, Ohio on the 24th, and then on the 20th, they were going to be there for 4 days, and on the fourth day, the 27th, there were going to be 3 visitors who were going to come down into the public square and meet and greet people. Well, today's the 25th, so it would be the second day that the ship is there. I haven't heard anything. I'm definitely keeping my eyes and ears open to see if I hear of anything. If you hear of anything, please let me know. Send me an email. Just let's find out if there's any reality to that or not. Okay? That is our UFO news for today. I'll be back in just a bit. I have a bunch more news to get to.
What if our government was responsible for some of the greatest crimes against this nation? Would you really want to know? These are big questions, but these questions deserve answers. It's time to demand the truth.
People should not be afraid of their governments. Governments should be afraid of
9/11 was an inside job. Kennedy was killed by the CIA. Jimmy Carter saw UFO. Answers to secrets you need to know. So wake up, wake up, wake up, wake up. Wake up, wake up, wake up. Wake up, wake up, wake up, wake up. Wake up, wake up, wake up. The evidence is overwhelming. Step past your fear, take a look. Illuminati lies keep growing, but they're losing from your eyes. And wake up, wake up, wake up, wake up. Wake up, wake up, wake up. Wake up, wake up, wake up, wake up. Wake up, wake up, wake up. What would our founding fathers say if they were alive today? Must be turning in their graves. Redcoats are coming, big brother's watching. Wake up, wake up, wake up, wake up. Wake up, wake up, wake up. Wake up, wake up, wake up, wake up. Wake up, wake up, wake up. What if I land and two if I see? And I on the opposite shore will be ready to ride and spread the alarm through every Middlesex village and farm. Whenever any form of government becomes destructive of these ends, it is the right of the people to alter or abolish it. When a long train of abuses and usurpations, pursuing invariably the same object, evinces a design to reduce them under absolute despotism, it is their right, it is their duty to throw off such government and to provide new guards for their future security. Wake up, wake up, wake up, wake up. Wake up, wake up, wake up. Wake up, wake up, wake up, wake up. Wake up, wake up, wake up. Wake up, wake up, wake up, wake up. Wake up, wake up, wake up. Wake up, wake up, wake up, wake up. Wake up, wake up, wake up. Patriots arise. It's time to demand the truth.
All right. All right, all right, all right. Are you demanding the truth out there? If we don't, look what happens in the world. You know, we get one corrupt individual or leader after another, and we need to demand the truth because there's too many good people in the world. All right, this story here is this is Catherine Sebelius, and she says Health and Human Services Secretary Catherine Sebelius toured a call center in Phoenix that handles enrollment in community health center. Well, the point of the matter is with this story here, I'm just going to cut to it. It says, as Congressman panel probed her agency's oversight of the federal health care website, Health and Human Services Secretary Catherine Sebelius said Thursday during a visit to Arizona that a team of government and private technology experts are working around the clock to fix the problem-filled website. Following a tour of the Phoenix call center that handles enrollment in a community health center, Sebelius acknowledged that the website healthcare has not been operated as seamlessly as she had hoped. Really? Seamlessly? That's the best word she could come up with? Okay. So if we get down here, this is the problem here. She said when asked about calls for her resignation, Sebelius said that she does not work for those who suggest she resign. She said in her regular communication with President Obama about her staff's in effort to improve the website. I have regular conversations with the president, and I have committed to him that my role is to get the program up and running. Okay, but here's that she does not work for those who have suggested she resigns. She's a public figure. She works for the people. Again, there's a misconception among these government individuals that forget who they work for. So you know what? If they forget who they work for, then they should just be removed from their position, since they don't understand that they work for the people. That's a problem, not only here, but around the world. We're having these kind of issues. Now, this story here ties in to what I did with the Mark chapter 13. One of the things it talks about in there be the persecution of those who are the believers of Jesus Christ. Well, here is exactly something that is going on to that effect. We're already hearing these bad stories like that out there, but does the Army consider Christians and Tea Party members a threat? It said soldiers attending a pre-deployment briefing at Fort Hood said they were told that evangelical Christians and members of the Tea Party were a threat to the nation, and any soldier donating to these groups would be subject to punishment under the Uniform Code of Military Justice. A soldier who attended the October 17th briefing told me the counterintelligence agent in charge of the meeting spent nearly half an hour discussing how evangelical Christian groups like the American Family Association were tearing the country apart. Michael Barry, an attorney with the Liberty Institute, is advising the soldier and has launched an investigation into the incident. The American public should be outraged that the U.S. Army is teaching our troops that evangelical Christians and Tea Party members are enemies of America, and that they can be punished for supporting or participating in these groups, said Barry, a former Marine Corps JAG officer. These statements about evangelical groups being domestic enemies are a serious charge. The soldier told me he fears reprisals and asked not to be identified. He said there was a blanket statement that donating to any group that were considered a threat to the military and government was punishment under military regulations. He went on to say that his first concern was that if he was going to be in trouble for going to church. The evangelical Christian soldier told me, can I tithe? Can I donate to Christian charities? What if I donate to a politician who is part of the Tea Party movement? So, you can see, this is not a good thing, yet this falls in line with what I read to you, Mark 13. We're told we need to pay attention to the signs of the times. This is a sign of the time. Christians are being persecuted. Okay? A Christian is anyone who believes in Jesus Christ. I don't care if you call yourself a Catholic or a Baptist or whatever religion you want to call yourself. If you believe in God, if you believe in Jesus Christ, then you are a Christian. And these people are being persecuted. Okay? Just like the book says. So we need to be strong. We need to understand that this is an indication that we are at sometimes very significant. And for us to be on alert. That's the word, right? That's the last word, Jesus. Be on alert. Well, some groups are standing up against what's going on. Here's a Pennsylvania bill that will require schools to post "In God We Trust" motto. This is in Harrisburg, Pennsylvania. Pennsylvania public school districts would be required to post "In God We Trust" in every school building under legislation that advanced out of a committee in the State House of Representatives last week. The bill, sponsored by Representative Rick Sancone, a Republican from Allegheny County, passed the House Education Committee on Wednesday by a 14-9 vote, with one Democrat and one Republican crossing party lines. The National Motto Display Act, as it is titled, credits just James Pollock, a 19th century Pennsylvania governor, for putting the term on coins while serving as director of the U.S. Mint. The measure would require some schools to post it by using a mounted plaque, student artwork, or some other form. Saccone said the motto would fit very well with the state's local history curriculum and appears to be widely supported by his constituents. It's 500 to 1 back home. People are for it, he said Thursday, adding he also believed it would pass the legislature overwhelmingly. I'm sure the media is going to try to beat it down, he said. That's par for the course. Okay, so people are stepping up, It's not like we have these tyrannical governments and these stupid rules out there and people are just laying down. Some people are, but some people are standing up and they're rebelling against this, which is good. That's what you need to do. If you are somebody who read the works of Jesus and followed what he was about, guess what? Jesus was a rebel. Jesus stood up against the Pharisees and those who were causing problems and hurting others. So if you are standing up as a rebel, guess what? You are in good company, because that's exactly what you should be doing as someone who is following the words of Jesus, as a warrior for God. Stand up against the tyranny, because if you don't, it's going to be a problem. Now, who would possibly say that evangelical Christians are a threat? Somebody who is anti-Christian, anti-Christ. Well, if we have these words coming down from our governments, couldn't we then understand by putting two and two together that our government is anti-Christian? That within our government there is an anti-Christ figure who doesn't believe and is trying to steer people away? That's what's going on. And what have people said about Barack Obama for a long while? What have I been saying? That man is the Antichrist. He seems to want to fulfill all of the different things, from what his guards call him, his Secret Service calling him the renegade, to his vehicles, which are the beast, to the number 666, the winning lottery number when he won the election, to Luke chapter 10, verse 18, where a translation of what Jesus said into Aramaic comes out to Satan Barack Obama, to the Bible code, where his name appears in the most significant passage related to the Antichrist, on and on and on. Again, if this is a puzzle and you're putting these pieces together, guess what? They're showing a picture. Let those with eyes, let them see, and those with ears, let them hear. Now, back several months ago, we had an incident in Boston. It was a bombing that we are told that occurred, but during the time of that bombing, there was a drill taking place called Urban Shield. Guess what? Urban Shield is back. It's back, and it's taking place again starting today, October 25th through 28th. This time it's in California. Let me read a little bit of this. Urban Shield has grown into a comprehensive full-scale regional preparedness exercise assessing the overall Bay Area UASI region's response capabilities related to multi-discipline planning, policies, procedures, organization, equipment, and training. Urban Shield continues to test regional integrated systems for prevention, protection, response, and recovery in our high-threat, high-density urban area. The exercise evaluates our existing level of preparedness and capabilities, identifying not only what we do well, but areas in need of improvement. The previous year after-action reports are referenced and used to assist in prioritizing upcoming expenditures possible for the region, so we may become more prepared for any type of critical event or incident in our area. And as we know, when these type of exercises are going on, guess what happens? Many times the exercises go live and become a live action event. Okay? And people who aren't aware of the exercise, well, they think it's a real thing. Like the Boston bombing. There was an exercise going on. And yet when the bombs went off, people couldn't explain them. It was not told to the people there was an exercise going on. But those who understood knew that this exercise and the bombs of what was taking place was part of a training. And since then, people have broken down all of the crisis actors that were involved with that. So what's going to go on up in San Francisco? Hopefully, nothing. Hopefully, things will remain peaceful and calm. But we should be on alert, because they have done this before. Now they're doing something again, the same type of exercise. Let's hope this one doesn't have the same kind of consequences as the other. If it does, we can kind of understand now there's a trend going on here. So, out of Hollywood, we've got a lot of nonsense that comes out. You've got actors which seem to be controlled on the things that they're saying and the things that they're doing. We have this blind faith out here in Hollywood towards Obama, and I don't know why. I have no idea why there's this blind faith. The latest one to jump on the bandwagon is Tom Hanks saying he supports a third term. He's going to vote for Obama in 2016, despite the Constitution has the restrictions against such things. Tom Hanks. I will never watch a Tom Hanks movie again when I hear that stupidity, just like when I hear the stupidity of the other actors that are out there, the ones who are saying they are here to serve the president and all the other nonsense. For some reason, collectively, Hollywood has its head up Barack Obama's backside. I don't know why. Maybe they're afraid of him. Maybe there's too many cowards out in Hollywood. Not sure. Or maybe there's something more. Maybe there's a deeper, sinister thing, and that's what is often talked about. That there is this mind control aspect, a mind control that takes place in the music industry, in the film industry. And we do see signs of this from time to time in the things that people say and the things that they're doing. This here is a piece that Roseanne Barr did an interview in which she's talking about mind control in Hollywood. Here we go.
Is the media and entertainment responsible for perpetuating a rape culture?
Yeah, I think the media is responsible for perpetuating a rape culture. And, you know, I mean, it's profitable for the people at the top who run the rape culture, you know, who run it, and, you know, they profit from it. And to say otherwise would be a big fat lie. But so, you know, they don't want any kind of power shifted away from the way they have it set up. They're in a very hierarchical manner with, you know, women's free labor at the bottom, largely slave labor, at the bottom of that big pyramid.
You've been a Hollywood insider for so long, yet you've been vocal for so long. I mean, how challenging is it to see your colleagues across Hollywood lacking for the Obama administration when they have so much power and influence that they could single-handedly shape the dialogue when so many people are watching them?
Well, I think that, you know, this is a culture of fear, and nobody's more afraid than people in Hollywood. They're afraid that they'll drop out of the top, you know, they're afraid that they'll drop from the bottom of the pyramid, maybe to the middle of the pyramid. But, you know, they're the ones, Hollywood is the one that keeps all this power structure and all this culture of racism and sexism and classism and genderism and all of it in place. They continually feed it, and they make a lot of money doing it. And they do it at the behest of their masters who run everything. So, you know, they're not going to get brave enough to do that. I mean, I think that there aren't many of us who are brave enough to do that. And I'm just, you know, I'm lucky that I can do it, and I feel that I do it on behalf of many people in Hollywood, too. I go to Hollywood parties, or, you know, occasionally I go to Oscar parties and things like that, and people, big stars, people will grab me by the arm and take me aside and say, I just want to thank you for the things you say. And it blows my mind, but that's the culture. It's a culture of fear for sure. You know, and it's a big culture of mind control too. MK Ultra mind control rules in Hollywood. If you don't know, Google that and look into it.
Well, we've talked about Operation Mockingbird, MK Ultra mind control stuff from, I mean, this goes back decades and decades. But Roseanne, I mean, do you know people have been blacklisted? I mean, is it just kind of a self-censorship in Hollywood, or do people actually get edged out if they are too much against the grain?
Yeah, it's self-censorship after a while, but it's not just a crazy self-censorship. It's self-censorship because there's actually a danger that you will never work again. And people know it. Everybody has friends that it happened to, that maybe you said too much, or maybe you were too vocal on unpopular issues. And it's funny because it doesn't matter if 2 years later, I find this a lot, that 2 years later those unpopular issues become very mainstream. They still don't forgive the first person who does it. And that's kind of been my story there. When you're first, you're you know, going to be vilified, despite the fact that 2 years later everybody's saying what you said. You're still going to be vilified because you dared. And you know, like they say, the Chinese, you know, the Chinese have a myth or a saying that says the nail that stands up is hammered down, and that's how it is here and everywhere in the world. Right. You know, you don't really want to put yourself at odds with people who decide your future and pay, you know, for your work. but sometimes you have to. And I was very lucky that I had a successful show that made me a lot of money, and so that I can do that. And I feel that I owe that to the people I came from, to say those things that maybe they can't say because they're afraid they'll be fired, or they're afraid even that they'll be put in jail or whatever. I'm going to do it because why not?
I know that you were also a supporter of Occupy Wall Street, which unfortunately was
Hold on a second, I jumped away too soon.
violently suppressed by militarized police forces all across the country. And Roseanne, I tell people that everything we do every day is political. I mean, every action we take is a vote, essentially. Any more words of advice you can give to people who are watching this and saying, you know, there's nothing that can be done and we don't have a voice?
Well, I'd say that's not true. There's so much that can be done, and don't stop now, because we've put a crack in it, and now the light will get in. So don't stop now, whatever you do. Don't stop. And you know, they talk about Occupy Wall Street and this and that and the other, but you know, it needs a reboot, like everything having to do with resisting a country being owned by banksters and both parties of its government being owned by banksters. There's no way we can turn our back or quiet down now. It'll only get worse.
All right, so there you have it. Something's going on, right? Like I said, there's a lot of people I meet out here that are really afraid to speak up, and they're appalled by the things I say. How could I say that? Aren't I afraid? What's there to be afraid of? Nothing to be afraid of. We're supposed to speak out, because if we don't, people get hurt. I don't want to see people get hurt, so I will do my part to stand up, and I will encourage as many people to do the same thing, because I know there's a world that is filled with more good people than there are those causing problems. I know there's a world filled with more brave people than there are chickens. So let the chickens do what they're going to do, because eventually you see them for what they are. You see them that they don't have no substance. But Roseanne Barr, people gave her a lot of grief. But listen how intelligent she is. Listen, she's aware of what's going on. She's not the only one. You hear from time to time of the people who speak up. Charlie Sheen, very outspoken, and he got a lot of grief after it. And that's kind of what happens. Is you speak up, they jump on you. You got to be strong. That's the most important thing. You got to be strong. Just another sign something is going on of great significance. Now, this story here ties into yesterday. It says, was Sodom and Gomorrah wiped out by a comet? Was Sodom and Gomorrah? It says, and the Lord rained upon, this is from Genesis 19, and the Lord rained upon Sodom and Gomorrah brimstones and fire from the Lord out of heaven. We think we know the story of the destruction of Sodom and Gomorrah, but is there a plausible explanation for what the Bible says happened? Does the story tell of brimstone and fire falling from the sky and a woman becoming a pillar of salt have a scientific basis? A number of astronomers believe the destruction of Sodom and Gomorrah involved comet activity. Dr. John S. Lewis, a retired professor of planetary sciences at the University of Arizona and co-director of the NASA Space Engineering Research Center at the University of Arizona, is one scientist who believes that the destruction of Sodom and Gomorrah was caused by cosmic bombardment, rain of fire and ice, a very real threat of a comet and asteroid bombardment. And then again from Genesis 19:24, and the Lord rained upon Sodom and Gomorrah brimstone and fire from the Lord out of heaven. Brimstone, burning sulfur, and fire raining down from the heavens could be a description of the breakup and the disintegration of a comet in the Earth's atmosphere above these ancient cities, since large chunks of rocky and icy material falling from the heaven would be seen as fire raining down from heaven. In addition, cometary material is rich in sulfur. Even a small meteor fall can produce a smell of sulfur that is so strong it is almost suffocating. All right, so we got comets coming in. Perhaps that is tied in with it. Again, something to pay attention to, another piece of the puzzle, another sign that we should be noticing. Now, earlier I told you when I read Mark 13 that there were others out there that were talking about the rapture. As a matter of fact, the inspiration for bringing up the Mark 13 is this piece right here. It's a 15-minute piece. I'm only going to play just a small section just to get you going. But this gentleman right here, who you'll hear momentarily, just a few moments of, he was in prayer and he was, seeking for answers of what is going on in the world. And in his prayer, he was guided to Mark chapter 13, actually 13:20, which talks about the time, the changes that we're going through, and the days being shortened. So I want you to listen to what he has to say, just a few minutes, and then you can watch the rest on your own. But just check it out. Very interesting. Here we go.
People of God, amazing, amazing. I don't even know how to start this. You guys need to understand and put a maximum high alert, for the Lord has spoken to me and said that, to make this official announcement that his return is in 2013. You knew it already. I've told you. You heard it from me, but not official announcement. I am making an official announcement. The Lord is returning on 2013. He's spoken to me in a dream. He's spoken to me in various ways. I went to the altar, and I got the answer one night after the other. I went to the altar to pray as usual, nighttime. I asked the Lord Jesus, I need you to answer me. This is extremely important, and I've been making videos that compromise my integrity as a Christian, and I am willing to say I'm sorry. I repent if I was wrong. So I need you to answer me. I bound all forces of evil into the obedience of Christ in Jesus' name. And I want you to answer me by the chapter. I'm going to open the Bible, and it must open in a chapter 13, and that will be a confirmation that you do come in 2013. Well, I did that at church, and that's after a while praying there, crying out in tears, seeking God and asking him for that merciful confirmation again, because as you understand, me announcing this compromises extremely not only my integrity but my salvation. And truly I want to live in the rapture, and of course I am more than aware of the weight of these words, and that is why I was asking the Lord that way, because I said clearly, Lord, I am willing to confess and repent if I have been deceived by the enemy. So please. So to make a story short, I opened up the Bible, and it opened up in Mark chapter 13. Chapter 13 of the book of Mark.
Okay, so I'm going to leave it right there, because that's where I came in and pulled up the Mark chapter 13, okay? This is not the first and the only gentleman who out here is talking like this. Do a search on Rapture, and you will find that there are a lot of people that are having this type of vision, having this type of understanding. Something's going on, okay? We may not know the day and the hour, but we can certainly get clues by paying attention to the signs that there is something significant about to go on. People are feeling it. This gentleman certainly is one. It's a 15-minute and 51-second video. Please watch the whole thing. The link's available, firstcontactradio.com. Now I want to move on. Next thing, we're going to get into our prayer here. Instead of playing one of those channeled messages, I have a nice piece I'm going to play to you today called Ariaaisms. Ariaa, first let me show you her website. This is a dear friend of mine, Ariaa.com, A-R-I-A-A. And she does a series of these things called Ariaaisms, spiritual food for the soul. I'm going to play for one of those for you in a minute. This is her website. I want to make it available so you can go through and check out her blog. She has a new book that she's written. You could check out, and just really good stuff here. A lot of great spiritual information. I'm going to get to the piece now and play this so you can actually hear in her own words what she has to say. This is a really beautiful message, and enjoy.
Hi, my name is Ariaa, and this is Ariaaisms, spiritual food for the soul. Today I'd like to address prayer. Do you realize that prayer is the great communicator? That every time you pray, you're pouring energy into the universe. And how you pray is everything to how quickly the things you dream and wish for come true. You know, prayer really is the way that we ball up all of our hopes and desires and project them out where legions of angels are waiting. to attend to them and to help you accomplish what you're looking to accomplish. You know, it is said that the greatest prayers that are ever said are those that come from mothers. Why? Well, because mothers have so much at stake when they're praying for their children. So they pour their heart, their soul, their entire being into accomplishing what they seek for their child, into praying. One of the greatest mothers of all time, Mary, said a one-word prayer that throughout history has been known as the greatest prayer that was ever spoken. And it was simply this: intercede. That's right. Intercede. You see, when you speak it into existence, you call forth from the infinite supply exactly what you're calling up, what you're praying for. When you pray it, you bring it into fruition. You step it up into your own world. You bring it forth in your own world. And all we're doing when we pray, you know, there's this infinite well of supply. And all we're doing is using our omnipresence within, that spirit that lives within us, to bring it into existence, into manifestation. You already have everything you need. You just have to call it into being. And the way we do that is through the knowing. I teach my clients to don't pray by saying, please, or, oh, help me, help me, help me. Because you're already helped. You know, the universe is divinely designed to give you what you need, what you want. In the beginning, it is said that God spoke those words. You have the earth and all within it. Everything I give you. So you have command over everything but the people. And the way you pray, the way you empower your requests, is everything to how those requests will come forth. When you command it, you come from the knowing. And when you come from the knowing, it's already given you. It's already accomplished. Does that mean that everything you pray is going to get accomplished or is going to be answered? No. And sometimes that's the best thing in the world. Haven't you heard that old song, Thank God for Unanswered Prayer? But what it does mean is that you're a co-participant in all of this. You co-wrote this for yourself along with your angels, your guides, and your sages before you ever came to this earth and took a body. So the bottom line is that you already know how to step in and call forth what you're searching for, what you're seeking in your life. And it's a matter of bringing it up, pulling it into existence through the power of prayer. I urge you to use the spoken word, but to use it with impact, use it with intent, use it with loving kindness. You can't demand, and that's very childlike, but commanding is very much like what the masters do, what the sages do. They command it forth. Instead of saying, please help me, say, I am helped. Instead of saying, I want to have money, say, I do have, I am, it's here now. Instead of saying, please help me get well, I am healthy, happy, and whole. It's up to you. The way you pray determines how much power you pour into the universe and how much is going to accomplish based on how you request it. Command it, and it's given. Beg for it, there's doubt in begging. Probably won't accomplish. I urge you to pray with your heart and mind and soul and pour everything into your dreams, into accomplishing what you want, and to praying for others. This has been Ariaaisms, spiritual food for the soul. My name is Ariaa Jaeger. If you'd like to know more about me, please visit my website at aria.com, ariaa.com, or find me on Facebook and Twitter. Today, move a few mountains in your own life through the mystical, magical power of prayer. Use your heart and mind to love out loud. God bless. Take care of each other.
All right, very nice message. Thanks, Ariaa. And go check out more of her stuff. Ariaaisms. There's a lot more of those than what I just played. So, very good insight. Check out her book. All right, let's check out our angel message for today. And it is, take time to research or ask advice from someone knowledgeable in the field before you make a decision. All right, always good advice. And that brings us to our meditation for today. So go ahead and close your eyes. Take a deep breath. And exhale. Take another deep breath. And exhale again. All right, let's imagine first. Let's activate all of our chakras. Make sure our energy fields are up. Let's start with the chakra at the top of the head. Color is violet. See the white light coming down into that crown chakra. See the color violet, and then imagine the light coming down further. See the light as it gets right between the two eyebrows, and imagine the color indigo. Indigo, which is a purplish color. And then from there you go down from the third eye down to the throat. Imagine the color blue. From the throat chakra, let the energy move down and imagine the color green right at the heart chakra. And see the energy moving down further yet, just below the rib cage, and see the color yellow. And then the energy moves down further yet to the belly button, see the color orange. And from there down to the root chakra, the bottom of the spine, imagine the color red. And then the energy continues on down into the earth. And there you are, connected to the earth, to the cosmos. And as you are connected and you feel your energetic connection to all, you know that who you are is much bigger than who you are at the moment in that body. That who you are is a part of everything else, and everything else is a part of you. As you feel that energy flowing through your body, I want you to imagine it spilling over, because there's so much. And as it spills over, it forms this protection around you. And as this energy moves out, imagine this energy moving out. 1 foot, all in directions. 2 feet, 3 feet, filling your whole room with this multicolored light from your chakras. See this energy expanding out from your home, out into your neighborhood, and into the city, and just imagine this energy going all around the world. And see that energy combining with others who are doing exactly the same thing, and know that we are all energizing and strengthening and protecting and loving each other right now. Let's imagine a world of goodness, of good people, stepping up, speaking up. No fear, no doubt. And as people speak up fearlessly and stand up, we watch all of the negativity fade away into existence, fade away into nothingness, because there is no place for them amongst all the goodness. Imagine as you look around in the world, you see the signs of change. You understand the signs of change that are here. For you have eyes and you see, and you have ears and you hear. And as you are aware of these signs of change, you understand that the great process that we've all been waiting for is here. The transition we've been moving through is completion and completing itself as we go. Now, I want you to think of one person that you know in your life. One person and you know that you're having some problems with. And I want you to see that person in your mind's eye. And I want you to imagine sending love to that person. Just sending love just to their heart. No attachments, just love. And add to that forgiveness. And just imagine now that whatever issues and challenges you had between yourself and that person are gone. That the illusions that held back any open-mindedness are gone. And in that, there's a new open communication established. And imagine everyone around the world doing this and connecting with those they're having problems with, till eventually there are no more problems because we are all connecting. That is what we are supposed to be doing, connecting with each other, helping each other through this change, because this is why we are here. And as we go into this weekend, just think of love. And let's just think of sending love out to the world. And just imagine that we are spreading these seeds of love like Johnny Appleseed, just reaching into your bag and just throwing these seeds out. And just imagine energy, love energy going into the world. And as you go throughout the world, let your subconscious mind continue doing that. Today, tomorrow, until we meet again. And as your subconscious mind does that, let's bring our conscious mind back to the present moment. And we'll do so on the count of 3. 3, coming back to the present moment filled with confidence. 2, coming back to the present moment filled with faith. And 1, coming back to the present moment happy, healthy, and whole. Happy, healthy, and whole. Take another deep breath. Exhale. And open your eyes. That's it, my friends. That is our show for today. It's been a great week. Thank you very much for your comments, for your emails, and all the other great stuff. I enjoy communicating with you. Check out the forum if you have anything to contribute to there. Please do. And that's it. Have an awesome weekend. Keep believing in good. Keep believing in God. There's something major going on in this world. A major change for all of us. A positive change. Not to be afraid of, but to be aware of and to be excited about. For this is the change that we've been told about. Do not fear nor be dismayed, for the Lord your God is with you wherever you may go. That is what we are told. Let's abide by that, and we're going to be all right. I'll be back Monday with more news and information. You have an awesome day, and I will talk to you soon. Have an awesome weekend. Peace. I'm out of here.